This episode of DPV, we're installing line lock for better burnouts. Alright, so I'm sure a lot of you have tried, doing a power brake burnout where you push the brake pedal just hard enough to try to lock up the front brakes, but not so much that you can't, spin the tires. And that's okay, it's fun. But there's this thing called line lock that makes your burnouts way better. Alright, so I got this kit on Amazon, and this is what it comes with. Got the line lock solenoid, the trigger button, and the fuse and the light to let you know that it's going. So what a line lock does, you put this in between the master cylinder and the front brakes. So your brake line from the master cylinder goes into here, and then you got another line going out to your front brakes, and it allows you to independently lock up just the front brakes. So then when you're doing a burnout, you don't have to overcome the rear brakes. Your front brakes are holding you, and you can just roast them. Drag racers use this to heat up their tires, because they do a good old burnout to get those tires nice and sticky for their launch. And then also, some racers use it for staging purposes. You get up to the light, you lock your front brakes, you can kind of get on the gas, and it kind of preloads everything, gets all the slop out of the drivetrain. Because you can imagine that you just launch from idle, there's going to be some slop in your differential and your driveline and your transmission, so on and so forth, and that inertia from the launch, with that little bit of slop, as small as it might be, one will decrease your acceleration by just a little bit because you got to take up that slop before you launch, and two, if you have that slop, it allows your engine to have a little bit too much inertia before it takes up that slop. Slamming on those gears, slamming on the driveline can potentially break something. So the line lock allows you to preload everything, get all the slop out of it, so when that light turns green, you can just go for it. I just want to do better burnouts. So let's get this thing installed. First thing we're going to do is get this installed, get the brake lines bent up and hooked up. Already got the rear brakes hooked up, got my distribution block down in there. So we just got to mount the solenoid about here, run a line up to the solenoid, from the solenoid down to the distribution block. So this thing actually has 3 different outlets with plugs, so I'm going to mount it like this. That way the outlet can go right out the side here. I think it'll be a little easier. And then my wires are heading towards the firewall. So we'll just mount it just about like that, I think. Kind of covering my K&N sticker, but that's all right. Oh man, I knew I should have looked for my number 3 tip. Right tool for the right job. Alright, so I bought 2 brake lines, and one of them looks like it is metric, so it's not going to work. So I'm going to try to make one of the old lines work. I think it'll work something like that, and then I'll just bend that around. But I gotta cut this tube off and flare the end, so I'll show you how to do that. Now, I do want to say I am not a mechanic. If you guys have been watching my videos and you know anything about cars, you know I'm not a mechanic. Most of the things I do, I've either read on the internet or I've talked to my dad, my father-in-law. They're both mechanics, and a lot of just trial and error. So this is how I'm going to make the brake lines. I don't know that it's the best way, but it is a way, and it'll get it done. All right, so how I cut this, I just use a tubing cutter for like plumbing. It seems to work all right. It's I don't know if they make smaller ones. It'd be kind of nice if it wasn't so big, but it seems to work. You just got to tighten it a little bit each time around, and it cuts it off nice and square. Just like that. Now this line had a bigger fitting on the end, so I have another spare line here that I'll just buzz that end off with the angle grinder and steal this fitting. You want to make sure that you get your fitting on there before you flare it, otherwise you'll be flaring it again. Now brake lines have something that's called a double flare, so you can't just use any flaring tool. I borrowed this from my father-in-law, so it's got a clamp to hold on to the different tube size. It's got your little press that does one of the flares. And then it's got the different fittings for the different size for the double flare. So I don't know if you can see this, but the way the double flare works is it actually folds. First you fold the tube kind of inside of itself. So that's what this tool here does, and kind of curls the tubing around inside of itself. After you get it curled in, then you take that fitting out and you just use this tool, and that puts the other flare in, giving you a double flare. So we'll see how I do here. I'm about 50-50 on success with this thing, so we'll see. This kind of shows you how it works. Set the depth and deburr a little bit. Alright, we'll try that again. I didn't have it clamped tight enough the first time. It'd be kind of hard to see there in the camera. If I turn it this way, you can see how that is kind of mushroomed out now. Now when I get the other flare on there, it'll fold inside of itself. Alright, looks pretty good. It's got the flare on there. One thing Alex told me, he does this kind of stuff all the time for his job, all this flaring and whatnot, is you don't want to crush it too far. One of the reasons why one of the brake lines failed on my Jeep is I probably, on the second flare, tightened it down way too much and cracked the tubing. So just want enough to get a nice finish on that flare. Sweet, looks pretty good. Alright, so the only tubing you get was kind of long, but to give me a couple chances to get it right. So it's already got a good flare on each end. But I'm gonna have to, bend it and cut it for length and get another flare in there. I just have this cheap bender. Not even sure where pick this thing up, but it works okay. I'll put a little 90 in it and run it out over here, and then kind of screw it in and see where the other bends need to be. Alright, let's see what this looks like. so I got the wires all hooked up. It's super hard to film the wiring because most of it's under the dash. So anyway, here's the ground wire for the solenoid. This comes from the switch. Put the switch right here on my shifter so I can just hold it down. There's a power wire that goes from the fuse box. It's run off the ignition, so it's only hot when the ignition is on. It runs to the switch, then from the switch it powers the indicator light and the solenoid. The indicator light I just have kind of set there because I wasn't sure where I wanted to put it, and I don't necessarily want to drill holes in my dash when I don't know where I want it exactly. So for now it's all wired up. Still got to bleed the brakes, so we'll do that and hopefully do some burnouts. All right, well, brakes are all bled. Put the tires on. See if we can roast some tires. All right, so last time the car needed a little bit of help, to get the tires spinning, so we'll do that again. All right, so brakes pressed, push the line lock, put all the way into first, and still a one tire fryer. Gonna have to get a locker. Tire fire. Gonna have to get a locker. Hey beepers. How you doing, buddy? Beefy boy. You're a good puppy. Alright, so one tire fire is not very cool, and I've literally got like just a little bit of time left today. I got called into work tonight, so just got a little bit of time before I gotta take a nap. We're gonna try to get a 2-tire burnout. A friend of mine was telling me when I was telling him about this whole line lock thing that sometimes you can play with tire pressures to get just the right balance and get a good 2-wheel burnout. So we're gonna do that. I'm a little embarrassed about this, but I can't find my tire gauge, so we're just gonna guess. But this tire here is the one that always peels out, so we're gonna let some pressure out of that. That basically what that does is it increases your tire patch, your contact to the ground. So we'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and add some air on this side to make it less sticky. So I think we'll just try to wait till that bulge kind of goes away. Gosh, that's one-handed work. Alright, this side, let some out. Alright, that looks good. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, so the other thing we're going to do on this first attempt is just water down the driver's side. Yeah, I'll do a little splash on the passenger side. still just that one side. Let's try wetting down just the driver's side and see what happens. Well, doesn't look like it's happening today, but the line lock is pretty cool. You know, allows you to pretty much immediately light the tire off. So next step, if I want better burnouts in this thing, I need deeper gears and I have got to get a traction device. So I'm thinking about the Detroit True Track. I think that would be a pretty sweet limited slip in this thing. And I've already got the 373 gears to build up a new 12 bolt for this thing. Probably won't happen till the fall, but it's gonna be awesome. So if you want to buy this line lock, I'll put a link in the description below. You can get it on Amazon. Pretty easy install, and buy that kind of helps me out a little bit. You can also buy one of these sweet Days of Pain and Victory hoodies that features a full-size Jeep. You can get that on Teespring. Link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.